Thank you, lady. Okay. Okay. Good morning, everybody. It's for me a really pleasure to be here again for the second time in our crowd. So I would like to say thank you to our crowd for continuing inviting me to talk here. So, okay. I would like to share with you today the Italian approach to innovation. Italy, it's a beautiful country. We have the sea, we have the mountain, we have good food, fashion, a high quality of life. But we have some problem with the innovation. The number of our startup is still low. So we have 10,000 of startup that is not enough compared to the number of people that live in Italy. We don't have enough investment in startup. We invest 700 million. That is not enough compared to the other country in Europe that invest, for example, 7 billion, 5 billion in innovation. Then we have a problem with the internationalization. So our startup and our SME talk only Italian. So they need to open their mind to the abroad, to the other country. And finally, the regulation. We don't have an environment that sustain a conducive innovation. Imagine that in Italy, we have a law for everything. We have also a law that defines the will. So if that thing is the will, is because it's done without corner. And we make a law about that. So imagine how many laws we have in Italy and how many things has to be done following the law. But things is changing. 5 months ago, the government decided to create a Minister of Innovation. This is good. The Minister of Innovation defined a strategy, and this is good for innovation. We start to create a fund to invest in our startup, 1 billion euro in our startup, in our venture, in our fund to support the innovation. We try to create an ecosystem around innovation and choosing technology that are important for innovation, artificial intelligence, cloud, smart mobility, robotic, and cybersecurity. So we start to create ecosystem, 5 ecosystems inside our country, where we push their startup, big company, accelerator, research center, and university to work all together around this innovation. And finally, we start to work on policy inside our country. As I told you, we have a lot of law inside our country so that stop innovation. So we start to work around the bill for sustained innovation and to create the opportunity to all the innovators that come in our country to experiment their innovation and demonstrate the positive impact of that innovation. Then, if they demonstrate the innovation and the positive impact, we start to change our law. Think about autonomous car, drone technology. We are not able with this law to test this kind of technology in our country. And finally, also around the policy, we are watching to the public administration and to the potential of the demand that the public administration can create around innovation. And so give the opportunity to the public administration to buy innovation, not only from the big company, but also from the startup and from the SME company. This is not help and allowed in Italy. So this is our strategy around innovation. We defined our strategy around 3 big issues, big pillars for us, that are the digitalization of the society, starting from the digitalization of the service of the public administration, and then support the organization, the company, the SME, to create the digitalization of their services. Second, the innovation inside our country. So support new technology, support the application of new technology, support the education around new technology and the use of new technology. And finally, the sustainability in terms of society, in terms of democracy, in terms of ethical around the technology. If we want to create technology, we have also to think about the ethical approach, the environmental approach, and the economical approach, of course. We translate our strategy in 20 actions, and we are starting to develop this action inside our country. But why I'm here today? I'm here today because as a country, as Italy, we need to create alliance and to collaborate with your country and with your organization and with your startup. We are two similar countries. We drive in the same way. So I know that we are similar. We almost have the same approach to the fashion, to the food, so we have a lot of things that are similar. So we are two countries that need to collaborate, that have to collaborate together. To doing what? To answer to the demand of the public administration of innovation and the private sector. We have a strong potential demand of innovation in our country, so help us to solve and to answer to this demand, to create the ecosystem of innovation. We have in our country an ecosystem of innovation done by the value chain of innovation, the startup, the incubator, the accelerator, the university, but we need to increase it, to become more strong, this ecosystem, so we can collaborate in exchange startup, in exchange accelerator and technology from the two countries. And finally, work together in some field, in some technological field, like artificial intelligence and cybersecurity, for example. The second important thing is developing technology to answer to the big challenge of our world. We can do alone. We have to solve some big issue in our world, and we can do only if we can collaborate between the country. Think about the climate change. Think about the problem around energy. Think about new job, new skill, new way of training children, and the approach to internet, the dark side of internet, especially to help teenagers and children to approach this new environment. And finally, work together to develop an ethical and democratic approach to the technology. If we don't think about everybody, to involve everybody in this transformation, we will leave somebody ahead out of this innovation, and we create a big problem in our society. Now we start to feel this problem, but even when we start to become more technological and more digital, we will increase the digital divide in our countries. So if you want to create a better world, I'm here to collaborate with you. Thank you very much.